In the early hours of the morning, he told them that they will have the last visitor. And these other two, the first one and the third one, what they said when they described the story, it's something that I cannot even speak about on the social media, because they spoke about creatures which you sometimes hear about, mostly when people are talking about shapeshifters and all these reptiles and stuff, but you don't even think they do exist. But when you hear these guys telling the story and describing the other creatures, you're like, oh my God, there is so much that we don't know about this world. The snake one, I have to, speak about it and tell you that it was a snake because of it had to, wrap the guy's body, and the guy felt like, what is going on? Is this going to swallow him, or is this going to break his bones? He didn't know what was going to happen. That's why he was talking to other guys to pray hard. And at the end of the day, they gave him the nickname Jesus. He became the savior. He went one-on-one against the devil and he survived the devil. That's why they called him Jesus. Till this day, he has the nickname Jesus. So they prayed, they kept praying. Then he told them that the third visitor arrived. But the third visitor, they said, didn't stay for long. Just got in, then went out. And ever since, those guys has been respected in the village. And Jesu, I had people that saying he's a prophet because he sees stuff and he can tell you stuff. And he's the type of a person, those guys that but you never have moments whereby you sit down and you discuss stuff with them or you drink tea with them, but you just know them in the village, right? You have spoken with them once or twice or three times because of sometimes people are fetching water there and there because you're in the same village, but we've never been that close. Even the guy who is the main prophet, I know him because of, we come from the same village. It's those guys who are older than us. Even Jesus is the guy who's way older than me, But I've never been in a space whereby I sit down with him, or when he goes to pray and he goes with me and others, because I was a baby, I was young. But you hear about these stories and it becomes like the stories of the legends. These guys are legends. These guys that went there, these guys, they've seen this, these guys have seen that, And those guys end up telling those stories to the younger brothers, and the younger brothers become proud because of they have an older brother who has been there and who has been working with a well-known prophet in the whole village. And that's how the stories has been like. So when I went home from Val, after seeing a dream, and in this dream I was sleeping under the bridge, and I've seen men wearing suits coming to attack us and kill us all under the bridge. I woke up and my pillow was wet because I was crying. And I look around, there were people who were sitting next to fire under the bridge at Val. And they said to me, Sabata, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm good. They said, we didn't wake you up because of, we realized that there are things that you see, and that's just one thing that normally we do when we are camping in rivers and mountains. When somebody is shaking in their sleep, or they're talking, or that you don't wake them up because they see what they see. You let the person be there, dream whatever they dream. Once they wake up by themselves, they have to wake up by themselves, because once you wake that person up, that person was in the middle of a conversation with their ancestors or in a conversation with the angels, or they were showing the person something, you wake them up and they don't have the conclusion of what they were seeing. They only know peace, they don't have the whole dream or vision, right? So that's why they were explaining it to me that, bruh, we didn't want to wake you up because of, we saw that you are communicating and you are engaging in a conversation or something that they couldn't even understand. So they had to let me sleep. I'm telling you the story when I was at Val, how I got to meet these other 5 guys that I went with on, that mountain, MALEBOHO, on that day when things got crazy. So as I woke up there, I told them, no, I was dreaming. They said, yeah, we didn't want to wake you up. I'm lowering my voice a bit now because I think it must be 8, and I know that my neighbors, maybe it might be late. It's Saturday, but it might be late. That's why I'm lowering my voice a bit, because I just want to continue with the recording, right? And I don't want to make a lot of noise. Now, I remember I went down at Val. It's a river. I already spoke about Val River. I went down there to pray. And while I was praying, something said to me, pack your stuff and leave. Now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Just pack your stuff and leave now. And that time, it was like past 2 to 3 early in the morning. After I finished praying, I said, Amen. I made a second prayer, thanking God for what He showed me, thanking God for what He's communicating with me, asking Him to pave my way so that I can get home safe. Came back to those guys. I sat down with them a bit and I said, this is what I see, and I must go. They said to me, Sparta, if this is what you see and this is what you feel, that means your people, your ancestors, they want you gone. If you leave now, you will catch a 20 past 3 train, which leaves from Vredaging to Johannesburg. It's an express, first train. I pack all my stuff, I pack all my stuff, I pack all my stuff. They were so happy, they were so grateful. And they were saying, man, you've been great all this time. We enjoyed being with you. You are amazing. Because of you, so much happened that was not even happening in this area. Because of, there were a lot of people who come from different places. I don't want to mention names here. And they were saying, I've been told that I should come to Val and I should buy you guys food so that my things can open. And 9 out of 10 times when they arrive, when the person showed up there and saying, guys, I want to buy you something to eat, but I don't know who I should go with, they were normally pointing me, or they were normally saying those words looking direct at me. And those other guys kept on saying, Rijaka Waina, since you come here, we are all eating because of you. Your angels, your ancestors are so protective of you in a way that because of we are in the presence of greatness, because of we are closer to you, we are all benefiting because of you here. All these people, when they speak, they're looking direct into your face because of they want you to go with them to the store. So I used to go with those guys in the stores and buy whatever the other people needs there. And I was the one who cooks a lot. I already shared the story where one day I cooked there, the other guy started prophesying, and he's actually the one who told me that when you leave Val, don't go back to Tembisa, go to a place where people don't know you so that God can bless you. I already shared the story, right? just wanted to say that when I was saying my goodbyes to those guys, and they were happy to tell me about, the 3 train so that I can get, to Johannesburg. Go to Johannesburg. I remember I catch a bus from Tembisa to that side of Polokwane. I don't want to mention the name of the place where I was going. In the bus, the other guy prophesied, and he said, today on Friday, there were 3 people who were ready to collect 21,000. They were going to share 7,000 each because of they already had the price on your head, 21,000. Because of they were going to take you to a place called Budiba, and you were going to die there. He went deep into details, and he said to me, when I look at you, I see a leopard skin that you must wear, and I see a cave where leopard stays, and that cave is at the place called MALEBOHO mountain, the mountain that you come from. You should go there and look for that cave. And as usual, I go alone. I already camped because of I was staying at Val, remember, for months. Now I was on my way to that place. From that place in Polokwane, I had to go and catch another taxi, go home. And now because of I was told that I must go to MALEBOHO mountain, I had to go to MALEBOHO mountain. I abstained, I'm clean, I'm ready to go. So when I was at the village, I was on my way to go to the mountain. I'm pausing a bit because I already shared the story, but it was audio, it was in a video. Let me continue to share the story so that I can add things that I didn't add on the first audio that you saw, called Taba MALEBOHO at Mastegu River. So when I was on my way to MALEBOHO mountain alone, I have my own bag there, I have my stuff that I will need, you have your bread, you have some bananas, you have milk, you have a pack of matches if you will have to make fire there. You have all those type of stuff that you know that you will need when you're there, in case if you will have to spend a night, because you will never know how things will turn out when you go to a mountain. And knowing exactly that I'm going to search for that cave, and I'm going there with the mentality of saying I've known that this side of the mountain I've already covered. Now, because of it's early in the morning, I'm going to cover this side the whole day. If I don't find the cave, I will find a place next to the mountain where I'll camp for a night. The following morning, I'm going to go back on top of the mountain so that I can avoid, being on the path of those tigers and look for, that cave again on day 2. That was my plan. So when I'm walking, I see this other guy that I know. I've never been close to the guy, but the village, when you've been around at the village growing up, and I moved from that village and I started, staying here in Johannesburg because I had to continue with my studies around Joburg. My mom was this side, my siblings were this side. But when you go back home after a very long time, you see those guys that you played soccer with, you see those guys that you used to go to school with, and they're happy for you. I see this guy, I'm happy for this guy, we are talking. And this guy is asking me, man, where are you going so early, man, carrying a bag and everything, man? It's been a while, it's been ages, since I saw you, man. I'm like, yeah, man, it's been a while, because of I spend more time in Johannesburg. And also, my father has another, house at the other village. So I've been trying to, work on that, house to make it a home. But now where I'm going, as you see me, walking early this morning, I'm going to that mountain, and I'm looking for this cave. Because if I'm saying that, because I know that most people, know about that cave. And I heard the story about the other prophet who used to be famous, who went with those other group of people, and Jesu was involved in there. And Jesu was with this guy's brother. So this guy surely have more details about the cave. Now this guy tells me that I know the cave. and I can show you the cave. And this guy says to me, wait here. You see those guys under the tree who are drinking tea? We were actually talking about going to spend a night on that mountain. We can go together. We know the cave. Right there, because of our when you desperately want to find a place, you even forget that you are not supposed to go with a group of people. I stood there. The guy went there. He spoke with the other 4 guys who were sitting under the tree. And those guys, they made up their mind that they're going to camp on top of the mountain, a mountain prayer, and they will go with me. But now, because of it's been years, I'm realizing something. That none of those 5 guys has spent a night on top of that mountain. These guys had so many stories about the mountain. They wanted to be on top of the mountain. They wanted to be heroes. And they felt like this is the great opportunity for us to go on top of the mountain, since this guy is saying he's going on top of the mountain. Now the problem about that is that I don't know where those guys slept. I don't know if those guys abstained. I don't know about those guys' conditions. But these guys are saying we were planning to go on top of the mountain. You see that thing of guys saying, yeah, we can go, yeah, we can go. And they end up making up their mind. They said to me, okay, listen, we will go with you, we will show you the mountain, but we can't go earlier. We will have to go late so that we can spend the night. Now my original plan of looking for that cave the whole day has to be scratched now. I'm way out of line. I'm way out of the alignment. I am operating according to this guy's schedule. The energy that these guys are carrying, I have absolutely no idea. It's way different than the energy I'm carrying. They said to me, do us a favor, buy us this and 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 this teas. I don't want to mention names. And also buy us, I think it's the 750 ml spirit. 2 spirits, right? I've seen the other guy who was super drunk one day on the social media, and he was saying, blue tray. Those guys wanted those 2 spirits, right? I bought everything that they wanted. They came to me around, I don't remember if it's 3, 4-ish, around 5. Because if it's a walking distance from our village, you walk in the forest, you pass another village called Labo, you keep walking in the forest, you pass another village called Mokwena Yafasi, you walk in the forest, you'll pass another village called Mokwena Tabing. You walk in the forest before you get to the mountain. That's how far it is, right? You walk more than 2 hours, if not more, if not less, depending on how fast you walk. But on our way to a place called Mokwena, these 5 guys decided that we must go to see this other guy who is well-known prophet. This is not the guy that I was telling you about. It's another guy that I don't even know. So when we got to this guy's house, it's packed. It's what we call the ahero, like a branch, right? Oh man, when this guy sees this video, he will be angry at me because I speak about these things. But what I can tell you is that it's the guy that everybody in the village, that means, knows him. Because when we got there, it was packed, but surprisingly there were a lot of women. And not young girls, a lot of mamas, women. And remember, women will go extra mile. If women knows that you see, if women knows that you help people, they will come there so that they can get healed, right? A lot of women, I'm saying that because of when we arrived, Amongst us, because we were 6, there was this other guy that I know that his grandfather used to be a big traditional healer. One of those traditional healers who are well known in the village. But I don't know how he was doing things, because sometimes he can prophesy you using the Bible. I remember one day when I was walking, his grandfather called me, "My child, come here." I went to his house. You see, when someone is old, he can send you somewhere to get something, fetch something for them and come and give them, right? He asked me to go to his room. I will see a Bible on top of a chair so I can bring that Bible to him. I'm like, okay, I want to read the Bible. I went to the room, got the Bible. As I'm giving him the Bible, he said, "Open it." Hold the Bible and open it. And he said, "Give it to me." I gave it to him. I'm there. He said, "Sit down." I sat down. I had no idea what was going on. When I told people, like, this is what he did, they're like, "Oh, don't you know him? He does that sometimes. He can just tell you things for free." So he opened the Bible and he started prophesying me, reading the Bible. And I was like, wow. And he was so accurate with everything that he was saying, because I remember that we were going to have a ceremony in our family. On my father's side, I remember we were doing the tombs. We were doing the tomb. We did the thing. Three, two, one. Sorry about that. There was a car which was playing music loud outside, so I had to pause a bit. I remember that week we were doing a ceremony. I think it was the opening of a tombstone or something like that. And I remember when he said to me, "Your family members are going to fight," because there were other brothers from the other village, that side of town, because their father and my father are siblings. So the old man was telling me that, there will be a misunderstanding between, guys who are way older than me, and they are going to fight. And he told me each and everything, how these guys are going to fight and all this type of stuff. And the problem was that these guys were fighting because one person is the person who stays in the village, and the other one is the older, but he's from that side of town. So they contributed money, but when they had to go and buy a cow for the ceremony, this other one went there because of he's from the village, and he was trying very hard to negotiate the price so that the seller can reduce the price, because I remember the cow was like 6,000, and he was forcing that the cow must be sold by 5K, and the seller was like saying, "We can't sell the cow with 5,000, we rather sell it with 5.5. And the reason why he was saying that is because of he wanted to have some pocket money in his hand. So this other guy who come from town realized what the other guy was trying to do, and that's how they started fighting, right? But the old man saw it before it happened. So he was telling me, the whole thing, using the Bible. And the reason why I'm saying this is because of his grandson was amongst the group of 6 with us, right? So when we got to that house of this guy who is a prophet, to this place called Mokwena, this young man started prophesying one of the women who were in that house, who were there for help, because they're waiting for him, for the main prophet to prophesy them. And I remember when he said to him, "It's my first time in this place, it's the first time in this house. I don't know how this prophet work. I don't know if he allows other prophet to prophesy people who came to him for help, because of I see that woman's problems, and I can help her with what she's dealing with. I remember when we told the other guy that we were working with, who's older, who knows the prophet, and they spoke, and the prophet, I think he didn't have a problem with it. I think that guy ended up, helping the other lady there. But we didn't stay long because of he took us to a place where he works and he started prophesying. But surprisingly, he prophesied to everybody in that group of 6. He didn't say anything about me. He prophesied all 5 guys, saying some great things about the 5 guys. He didn't say anything about me. But I took it, with a good spirit. I didn't want to worry much about it. And I was like saying, yeah, it's not everybody who can prophesy you. Some people will help you, some people won't help you, some people will see certain things about you and help you with the healing, and some people won't. But what surprised me is that after he was done, he took only 2 people. He said only 2 people must remain there. The other 4, we went outside to sit outside. And he gave us tea. I didn't want to drink tea because I'm this type of a person. When I'm going to a place, I eat what I eat. I hate to eat, and drink what people are making out there because of I don't even know what they mixed, before they hand those things to us. I don't want to be in a situation whereby I will end up vibrating in an energy that I don't even know where it comes from. When I'm in trouble, I want to be in trouble because of I ate what I normally eat, or I drank what I normally drink, not what somebody gave me a moment before I go and climb the mountain. I didn't like that, but because of now, I realized that I am way out of line. I'm with this group of people. They are going to see their prophet. He's giving us a tea. I don't know if these guys abstained. I am in a serious trouble. I'm way out of line. I'm going to be on this mountain at night, and I never even planned to be there at night. I'm with group of people. I normally don't go with group of people, and I'm told not to be with group of people. And I did each and everything that my ancestors or my angels always warned me about. I am way out of line. And if anything bad happens, I don't know how I'm going to answer to them. And I don't know how am I going to even defend myself or even come to them and apologize, because I broke all the rules. I broke all the things that I went against everything that they always warned me about. And all these other 5 guys, I don't even know if one of them was sleeping with his girlfriend last night, We waited for those other 2 guys to get the prophecy. And those other guys, they didn't even tell us what they were told. But one thing I can tell you is that on our way to the mountain, I was wearing a DA t-shirt, a blue DA t-shirt, because things were tough during that time. When these other people, when they're doing elections, what campaign, they give people t-shirts. Someone else gave it the t-shirt, and that person didn't want to wear the t-shirt because of the backlash. But I feel like, the t-shirt is my size. The t-shirt is nice. I can wear the t-shirt. I don't care what people are saying. So I wore the t-shirt on my day when I'm going to the mountain. And I remember when the group of people, when we were walking, because those other guys were already high with the spirit that they've been drinking. They're making a lot of noise, they're walking. I remember somebody saying, you guys won't come back from that mountain. And somebody pointed and said, especially you wearing that DA t-shirt. And I can tell in that moment, I was like, okay, there is a possibility that I might not come back for the first time. I've never went to any mountain and feel like I might not come back. And even people are pointing at me, they're like saying you cannot come back because of now. You remember what DA did to our ancestors? Now they're like saying the ancestors will be so mad at you.